All right, welcome to Gamers Talk, where it's the first time we are doing this, and we're gonna have fun with this. I feel like we're gonna have a successful, fun talk with this. Okay, so as I stated, everybody knows that EA is trash.
Okay.
I mean, at
Okay.
least you're keeping it honest because some other people really don't about
They
it.
really don't, and I'm one of the
They
people
go.
like, let's keep it real. EA is trash, and they got hit
Yes.
with a $5 million lawsuit for microtransactions and other things that they have done over, I guess, over time and over the years.
Mm.
And they don't call it microtransactions. They call it, what is it? They call it surprise mechanics. And they've gambled with people's loot boxes and everything. And
Surprise mechanics.
huh,
That's what you came up with. Surprise mechanics.
that's
Okay.
what they came up with. That's what they call it. They don't call it microtransactions or this is supposed to be. It's a surprise mechanic.
I wish they would just
Of,
call a spade. To be honest, it's DLC.
that won't be them. That won't be them.
No,
they're trying to like,
yeah, it wouldn't be
I don't
them.
know. I, yeah, because I recently just got like, what was this free like last month? Battlefront 2.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is gonna be fun. And here come the loot boxes. And I'm like, oh, so all the good stuff is behind. Oh, okay. I'm not paying for this. I'm not playing this no more. So put that to the side.
Right, right. Now, I will say this, and I'm grateful and surprised at the same time because when I played Star Wars, the Jedi Knight Fallen Order, there
Mm.
were no microtransactions. Everything you needed was in the game, and I'm like, for EA to spit this out with no microtransactions is a surprise. But it's also a good thing too at the same time because that means that everything that you need is in the game. Um, you didn't have to buy anything extra. Of course, with this being with that game being a blueprint of Dark Souls, maybe that was the reason why, you know. Because what that game was set up. And it was a good game. It just that it had no replay value. That's the other thing too I didn't like. No replay value. So once you go through it once, whether you get all your power-ups or not, it's a done game. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, the story's good, the gameplay is good, but it's just like once you're one, it's like one and done. That's it. That's just it. No need to go back through it again. Because there's nothing new to it. So that's just what it was. Yeah, but they've been hit with this 5 million lawsuit from companies and other countries and everything like that. And I'm like, at this point, EA, y'all need to really do some y'all need to overhaul or just disband or something. I mean, what do y'all think about it?
They need to just take gaming back to the way it used to be, where people had to actually work hard to earn the content in the game instead of making folks pay the same price as a newly released game console for one game. I mean,
Mm,
damn, I feel like I bought the PlayStation 2 when it first came out at least 10 times over up to this point.
mm.
That's ridiculous. Like, for example, Mortal Kombat 11 right now.
Oh, oh.
Between the expansion, the skins, I'm not even going to talk about some of the exclusive stuff that's either available on PC, console, and even variable store releases between different retail vendors. You're going to pay out the ass roughly over $300 for this game.
Hmm.
Yeah. And to add to that, I don't see why the expansion wasn't free for people who already had it. I can understand the people who didn't have it, but for us who already had it, and those for us who also bought the premium edition, it should have been free.
Boom.
Hmm.
I've been saying that for the longest. And I have a strong sense about it because this game was released on my birthday last
Hmm.
year. So I'm like, look, I'm excited. Like, bad enough I really didn't get too into X, though I think X is a good game. And I
Hmm.
see what they tried to do with using the same mechanics from Injustice 2. But it's like, y'all threw your formula all over the place, and now look how much harder you have to work just to get the end game stuff, let alone the bonus content that you throw at us for at least what, $5 to $40 a pop.
Right.
That's I'm. Hmm.
And you know my thing too is not just that, but and I know this is a too big of a money issue with Mortal Kombat either, but the Combat League, we gotta grind and play online just to get these exclusive pieces. And I'm like, y'all could have put y'all really if you really think about it, y'all could have just had us go back and reanimate certain parts of the crypt as you can do in the game and just open up the chest and get it that way.
Right.
Or earn it in the tower.
I'm still
Or
trying to unlock
expand
the
the
last
crypt.
gallery pieces that's left in Mortal Kombat 11. And I still haven't got the hold of those yet either. They
Mm,
too focused on these skins. I'm like, y'all should have been had these skins in this game.
right.
First, y'all started out trying to be social justice conscious and trying to downplay it by covering up the women. When y'all know y'all had scantily clad women in these games for years, decades even.
Thank you.
Now all of a sudden you finna drop the
I
Mortal
mean,
Kombat 3 skins for the female ninjas. Come on now. Really?
Trying to be conservative. No, this look, first of all, when they first started Mortal Kombat, okay, the blood and the violence enough was like we are not conservative. That should have told them it y'all told the world we're not conservative.
Right.
We have blood, we have violence, we have people killing each other, decapitating and blowing up. We're not conservative people. But then over the years, when and they're the reason why we have a game rating now. But and over the years, it's like, oh, so now y'all want to try to cover up people and dial back some of the violence, which they tried to do with why do I get these two confused? The one where you create a fatality.
oh, Armageddon. Oh God. Ew.
Yeah.
Man.
And they try to dial it back with the violence on that. We were like, what the hell is this? I gotta create. I just spent time kicking this person's ass. Now I gotta create a fatality too. The fuck?
And I thought it was
And
cool
that
for what it was
mechanic
worth. But I mean,
that mechanic alone was just terrible too.
yeah,
Let's
because
see,
it was
that
too
mechanic alone
repetitive.
was like
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Oh God.
Like
Oh.
what they could have did, they could have gave us like ending type fatalities to the correct fatality that was specialized towards each character.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all could have did it that way because y'all know these characters is known for doing something unique that's tailored to them. Sub-Zero freezing folks with a ice grenade and blowing up half your body. I mean, who else gonna do that outside of maybe Frost and Chameleon?
Yeah.
true.
Because there ain't that many Crime Masters in the Mortal Kombat universe anyway.
Right.
I mean,
You know what?
I just felt like that game was just okay. Let's put this game out since this is it, and we 'cause I think at the time I think they was going bankrupt, so they was already like, well, here you go, here's the last Mortal Kombat game, here's our last hurrah, here you go. Like
Mm-hmm.
it kind of ended on a bad note there. I mean, which I'm had well, and again the next couple of years they did come out with MK versus DC, but that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there on that part.
We only mention her in the midst of Mortal Kombat 10 and 11 because sometimes we don't know her. We have to look at her and be like, I don't
Come
know.
on.
That happened. I mean, that did happen. It's canon. It is canon. So
It is. I still almost don't know her. Almost.
Right. Jawan, you seem like your screen is getting darker.
That's because the weather's changing, so ain't a whole lot of light right now. Even if
Okay.
I open up the blinds wider, it's like that's about as much as it'll go.
All right. Just want to make sure.
Mhm.
Okay, so I was gonna you say game of the year for last, but DC fandom was just too exciting last night, or yesterday. So we gonna switch that up. We're talking about game of the year now. So Jace, what have you played that came out this year?
Oh, let's see. big contenders, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think I'm about done with Ghost of Tsushima, which
Mhm.
is a phenomenal game. Oh, I love Sucker Punch so much. Even though I want them to go back to the Infamous series, I think they moved on from that, which is pretty cool. I'm not really pressed about that. What else came out this year? I know this year was just a mixed bag of stuff.
Yeah,
It was the highs and lows of a lot of stuff coming out this year.
yeah.
I think, but those two was on my radar for a long time, which I was happy to play.
You get lost in thought.
No, I'm trying to think of something else. I'm trying to think of something else. Come back to me. Come back to me.
Okay. So I think the only game that you played that came out this year, Jawan, was Streets of Rage 4, right?
Was it just Streets? I feel like it was more than that.
I mean, what have you played that came out this year?
Shit, I'm trying to keep up with what's coming out this year when you think about it, shit, to be honest.
That part.
Because it was so much, and then it's still a lot that I managed to miss.
Mhm.
I would say outside of Streets of Rage 4, I know I played Medieval. Medieval was pretty good, considering that was a callback to an old PlayStation 1 game. I really liked the remake of that one.
Okay.
Outside of that, I'm not really sure what else I have played that has come out this year.
Okay. Well, like Jay said, Ghost of Tsushima is a phenomenal game. First of all, the graphics are beautiful. There is no spot in that game that you're not tempted to take a picture or play around with the picture mode, and make you a good picture and take it. There's not a part of that game that doesn't have that. Music's good. The story is phenomenal too. It is real Japanese history about them in the Mongols, and the combat is great. Especially when you unlock your stances, and you go further into your moves. Especially when you become also with your ghost moves too, which continue into a stealth killing machine, which isn't usual for samurais. Samurais, they are the type that like, look, I will face you head on. I ain't got to sneak. I want to look in your eyes with honor as I kill you. So,
It's almost like a paradox too. It's like, damn, this dude is mad cool. I just wish he didn't have to kill me.
Right.
Right.
They do have respect and honor for their opponents that they kill. But for Jin Sakai to have to be like, look, okay, the Mongol army is too big because all my men are dead. Most of the clan is wiped out. So yeah, I had to take on a new tactic to become pretty much a ninja with samurai skills. So that's pretty much what we had to do. And then, so in my opinion, that is game of the year. I really feel like it should be. I don't think Cyberpunk is going to come out.
Oh no, it's coming out next year.
That mark for 2021. It may or may. Yes. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but they can probably come out next year because I think they pushed it back.
More than likely.
With everything going on, I read somewhere they pushed the game back a little bit. I think about towards the end of the year or next year.
Hello? Oh wow, that was odd. Okay, I'm back.
I thought you froze for a moment.
It'll do that. It'll do that. Don't worry about it.
Okay, but Final Fantasy VII Remake was a good retelling of the original. It was had the nice graphics. Everything looked beautiful. Combat system was good. It was an open RPG combat. It wasn't turn-based like the original was. I mean, I'm still playing through it. But when Ghost of Tsushima came out, no, let me back up. When The Last of Us 2 came out, that got my attention. And then when Ghost of Tsushima came out, that got my attention. So The Last of Us 2 and Final Fantasy are on hold right now.
Mm.
Me. I am gonna go back and play Last of Us 2 sometime this weekend. And do another upload for that. But all of these games came out and they swung with Avengers. Now the one that hit people the most emotionally was Last of Us 2. And you know, because of what happens to Joel. And that's what sets Ellie off. And you know, people were mad at the story because, oh, now you want us to feel bad for Joel's killer, trying to humanize her. But you know, there was a whole back and forth with that. So yeah, and then you know, but you know, my thing is this: any human person that when you form a bond with somebody and something or someone comes and kills it, how you expect her not to react to that? You know, especially with everything that Ellie had went through. She was found out that she had antibodies in her system that rejected being turned into an infected. Joel took her to the Fireflies, and when he found out, oh, they were going to kill her in order to get this cure, he was like, nah, we're not having that. So he murked everybody in the hospital and took Ellie home. You know, took Ellie away. And unfortunately, one of the doctors he killed was the father of Abby, and she wanted to go after Joel because she knew he killed her father. So that's the whole premise of Last of Us 2. But then you also got some new villains and new bosses in there that they are hell to fight. They really are. Especially those big blobby ones. They fucking hell. So Jason, what did you think about The Last of Us 2?
I need to play it yet. That's on my radar.
Okay.
It's fine. It's already read everything about it. Everybody's just like, when I heard about the whole backlash of it, especially when Nerdum just attacked the voice character, the voice actress of the villain on social media. I was like, wait, what is going on? Why are they attacking her? And somebody told me the story. I'm like, see, I mean, I feel like that's character development, but see, why y'all attack the voice actress of this character? Because she didn't do anything. She played her part, and that's what she got paid for.
Right.
Why y'all attacking her? Like, what is going on with nerdom these days? Like, we have just become so. If this doesn't work, just going back to Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Right.
that whole situation, like it went from not even that. Let's go back to the beginning of the year. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. Look, I'm gonna take you all the way back to the beginning of the year. That game right there was so controversial with the DLC. I was like, yeah, we should have been had this in the game. But I understand what Nomura wanted to do. So, and then you had Final Fantasy VII. So I'm like, yeah, it's weird. But look, back on topic. I'm trying to like finish games up so that way I can have room for Last of Us 2. I have to finish Last of Us 1 first.
Okay.
I'm almost done with that, and then I'm gonna go to Last of Us 2. So that's on my radar right now.
All right. So I think me and Jawan are on to play Streets of Rage 4. Jawan, what was your thoughts about Streets of Rage 4?
Legendary.
I played it. I got it on Switch. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
There's no words to describe the gloriousness of Streets of Rage 4. This is none, to be honest. The soundtrack, the gameplay mechanics, the classic edition characters added into it, and even the stuff that they're working on as far as DLC that I'm getting hints on. I'm good. I'm sold. Like, this needs to be game of the year, in my opinion.
Okay.
I agree. Most definitely, when I play Streets of Rage, I feel like I'm a kid again in the '90s with a Sega Genesis, and I'm
Yeah.
just playing, and I'm going through the whole motions of hearing the soundtrack, fighting, and I'm like just enjoying myself and being like a kid again,
Mhm.
and playing through it. And the difficulty in that game is it's hard, but once you study the boss's moves and the mechanics and the combos, you pretty much it's like a breathe in a way once you start
Mhm.
getting like through the motions. So I definitely like Streets of Rage was a definitely hidden gem, since that was on like a list of, oh, will it come out, will it not come out, we will never know.
We
And then
waited
when the
for
release was like,
25
oh my
years,
god.
man. 25 years. I'm like, bruh, why y'all do me like that? Why the soundtrack so good? Like I almost bought the soundtrack without the game. I just wanted the soundtrack.
I could agree with that because the soundtrack was on point. It really was. It was like everything from like the previous games was back and remastered and crisp and everything. We were like, oh, and they even did some remixes in there. We were like, oh,
Yeah.
this is what y'all did. Okay,
Mhm.
and then my standout character, I love Blaze, but my standout character was Cherry.
Everybody said that character was Cherry up to this point. Because we haven't gotten Skate yet.
Hmm.
But
Right.
but Cherry is the shine character right now. She gonna come through with hella combos, hella
Hmm.
versatility. Her speed is phenomenal. I mean, she can run
Hmm.
through that game on Mania just clearly by herself without really needed skill.
Hmm.
So, hats off to her. She's definitely worthy of the last name Hunter because she definitely loves
Okay.
her father and her uncle's legacy.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. Well, I did look up how much each game sold. Ghost of Tsushima sold 2.4 million in their first week.
Mm.
Uh,
They should.
Last of Us 2 sold 11 million in their first week,
Oh wow.
and Final Fantasy 7 Remake sold 3.5 million in their first week. So, you
Mm.
know, I'm gonna sit here and say I think they all made their companies proud, and you know, they made their money back from what they spent on it. I'm sure.
especially when the games have been, you like these games. I think they must have been announced like for years.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think Ghost of Tsushima was announced, I think, what, 2018 in a way. I think late 2018 at the Game Awards,
It
I
was, yeah,
believe.
yeah. It wasn't
I
the Game of
still
Thrones.
managed to miss that release date too. That's what's so crazy about it.
Mm,
So I was just like, with Final Fantasy 7 and Last of Us 2, they was already like, these games are the games you need to watch out for. These are the games that will make Game of the Year, because
mhm.
these games have so much writing on them at this current moment. It's like you cannot fail at these games. But I think with the storyline with both games, it's kind of like fans was kind of like, I don't want to get this game because they're changing the story or they doing this and it doesn't make sense. I'm like, it's just for you to enjoy and go through the motions.
Right,
It's just like a TV show or a movie or a book. It's something for you to enjoy and just talk about.
right.
So
'Cause-
definitely.
yeah, because anybody that's been a Final Fantasy person knows that Final Fantasy there is no continue. Each one is not linked to the other. They're all different stories anyway,
Hmm.
except for X and X2. Those because they're the sequel. But other than that, all of them are different. None of them are connected. They're all their own. They come up with different stories for each one. So yeah, and I'm like, okay, I get it that y'all, because I think out of all the Final Fantasies, I think X and 7, and I believe 13, because I think only because 13 is online. But those are the main three people talk about.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
those are like the three famous ones. Is it 13 or 14 that's online? I think it is 13.
Oh,
Um,
14.
It's 14. Okay,
13,
14 is online. Okay.
yeah, 13 had like lightning, and that's a
Yeah.
whole issue by itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard a lot about lightning, and I just look at these people like, okay. But yeah, 14 is online. So yeah, those are the three ones that get talked about is 10, 7, and 14. Because the story was out, the story stood out, the character stood out. And Final Fantasy VII has even branched off, back on PS2, it branched off another story with Vincent called Dirge of Cerberus. Then it came out with a movie, Advent Children, and Clouds
Don't
crossed
forget
over into Smash Brothers.
Don't forget about Crisis Core too. Don't forget about Crisis Core.
Oh yeah, Crisis Core. Yep, Crisis Core as well. So Final Fantasy is that one Final Fantasy game that just branched out and has had lots of spinoffs. I mean, and we love it. We do. So and yeah, I kind of figure some fans might be upset at how they changed the story, but sometimes that's what keeps the game interesting too. At the same time, because y'all still talking about it to this day. So they did their job. All right, so I'm gonna segue over into Marvel's Avengers and the backlash that Sony got because Spider-Man,
I literally just talked about this today within my Discord, and I'm like, I'm like, I knew this was coming. I'm like, I knew this was coming. It sounded too good to be true with this game. I'm like,
yeah, but
so
I just think it's hilarious how people literally got upset because we can't play with Spider-Man on Xbox. Just not our problem. That's what my response was like.
Y'all know y'all wrong for that, Marvel. Y'all know y'all wrong for that.
But you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, though.
I felt it. It felt just like Civil War. Instead of him flipping and catching and getting Cap shield, all I saw was a Sony controller.
Okay, so you know what? My group told me the same thing. So you know what we thought this was? It was Soul Calibur 2 all over again when every system got an exclusive character. The PlayStation got Heihachi. Everyone's like, what do we do with this? Xbox got Spawn, and then Nintendo got Link, and everyone's like, we won't Link. It's like, no. Nintendo's like, no.
They did it again, but they did the HD remix release, and we still didn't get Link. So,
Nintendo's like, no, sorry. No, you're not going to get that. I'm so
sorry. We're not going to give you Link. No. You can have Spawn and all them, but...
Right. But that wasn't the first time they did. They did it. That was not the first time they did it. They did it again with Soul Calibur
4
when PS got Vader, Xbox got Yoda. I don't think GameCube got anybody. I don't think they got anybody. If they did,
I don't think it was on. No, yeah, it was. I think that time the GameCube was already phased out. I think it was just on the Wii.
Yeah, but PlayStation got Vader and Xbox got Yoda. And that was like.
I'm trying to figure out how is that exclusive when both of those characters are the same franchise.
Well.
And you can pay for Yoda or Vader, like later down the line if you want the character in the game. I was like, y'all wrong for this.
But when the game first came out, they were only at launch. They were only exclusive to one to each system. So we were like, okay, so they did it again, and then here we are now facing it again with Spider-Man and Sony. But you know what? I think because what happened was the guy was like, okay, I want to put Spider-Man in the Avengers game, but here's the deal. And Sony's probably only going to want you, or Marvel and Sony. Well, I don't think Marvel had anything to do with it. I think it was all Sony. Was like, well, if you want to put him in the Avengers game, that's fine. But guess what? He can only play on PlayStation. Because we all know, those of us who don't know, that even though Marvel is borrowing Spider-Man for their movies and for their games, but Spider-Man still belongs to Sony, mostly. Yeah. See,
Why can't they just own all the characters?
Wait, I thought we just
rights to characters thing. It's so weird.
wait. I thought that Sony just has the movie or just movie rights. I thought it, so they have the so they have the both movies and video game rights.
And other
Oh
and
wow.
Yeah.
Because I know Fox only had the movie rights to the X-Men, but Marvel they had the rights for the video games for the X-Men.
That's kind of why that's kind of why Spider-Man PS4 was only exclusive to PlayStation, because Sony still owned him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all the reason. Yeah, but I played the Avengers game. I played the beta. So far, it is a pretty good game. It's a solid game. My only concern with the beta is, and I hope they fix it by the time it launches, is these little glitches that they have. And you know, later on down the line, their DLC is going to come out, which is going to be Black Panther, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and there's one more.
It was She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. There we go. And also Hawkeye himself, Clint's gonna come out, but he's already been revealed. But yeah, She-Hulk, Black Panther, and Kate Bishop. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ant-Man or Wasp or somebody like that. So, wouldn't be surprised about that. But yeah, the Avengers game is gonna be nice. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be, it reminds me of, because this Avengers game was being worked on for years. It was supposed to be a MMO at first, but they scrapped it for some odd reason. They scrapped it, and I guess decided that, hey, we should just make this an adventure game and throw in Kamala Khan and and just have it like that. And because in some ways it does remind me of DC Universe in some way or another. It reminds me of that kind of play style, but with everybody having their own exclusive moves and nobody's the same. And they broke it down. They broke down the combat system like this: like, say that you have a Captain America that does this sort of moves, but you play somebody online that has Captain America with another set of moves. So that's how they're doing this too. So I was like, that's neat. That's cool. I'm excited for it. It comes out September 4th. And, when I pre-ordered it, I thought I just got the deluxe edition. I was like, and when I called the GameStop, they were like, no, you have the Earth Mightiest Heroes edition. I was like, oh, that's a collector's edition. Okay, I'll take that.
The only thing I have gripes with the Avenger beta is like the matchmaking system. Like I could be on with my friends and we can be, we can start up a match like within, just get together, have a match together. But within like that, like before the match starts, it will to kick us all off, and then it was like, okay, well the party had been removed. I'm like, we were just here, all our internet connection fine. What are you talking about? What are you doing? So we did it again, and it keeps happening. And there's some glitches in the game where sometimes when you hit enemies with, I really feel like they're gonna nerf Black Widow because she's like the one of the best characters. She's gonna be nerfed in a second. Yeah. It was a lot of, okay, I'm gonna hit this character. The character don't take damage, but the computer can hit the character or they take damage. I'm like,
right.
I don't. Okay, was it me? Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go over here. I'm just gonna go over here. But that's on like 20 kind of rights I have with the games. Hopefully, also with the characters being announced, I hope we get one right from off the wall Avengers as well, because I know they're gonna bring you gotta bring the movie characters in there. You gotta have everybody from the movies in there because that's how you get them. And with Kamala Khan, I have to explain this to people as well. With Kamala Khan being in the game, she's supposed to be like I would say just like approving for like the young crowd, not the young crowd, but people who've been asking for her in the video game. Now,
Right.
granted, we just had her in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, but we want to have more games, and like now she's the center character of this game. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but for me, I want to see like Monica Rambeau, Spectrum. I want to see Swordmaster. I want to see Vision. I want to see Hercules. I want to see those type of characters because I feel like those characters don't get no recognition. They're Avengers as well, and it's like I'm a big X-Men fan, so when I say I want to see other Avengers characters, like, oh, you want to see more inclusion, not just the big 5 or 6. I'm like, yeah, because I mean they're cool, but like I don't like them like that. Well, Black Panther, but
I understand what you're saying because over the years we've seen, with the exception of Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, and well, we haven't seen enough Black Panther yet. But over the years in the MCU, we've seen everybody else. So and so I get what you're saying with that. Because I want to see Ant-Man and Wasp show up. I want to see even some not so known Avengers. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Scarlet Witch show up. I wouldn't mind seeing Quicksilver. We saw him in the MCU for a short time because of that whole Fox dispute. But yeah, some of these off the wall Avengers that we don't get to see a lot of, or we don't know too well. Yeah, and I think another one would actually be. I'm trying to think. Nope. We've said eventually everybody else. I can't think of anybody else at the moment. Oh yeah, and Captain Marvel is going to be in the game, but it's going to be Carol. And I like you said, I would rather have Monica.
but we don't. The black girl don't get no attention like that. So
right. Which I think is some bullshit. But when she was the
diversity.
But well,
Kamala Khan. That's you got. You got directed Kamala Khan.
Right, exactly. But you also got to remember too, Kamala Khan is part of the Young Avengers, and Disney XD has that cartoon going on. So that's another reason why she's in the game too. So we might see even some Young Avengers. We might see. Well, I ain't gonna say in this game, but if the series goes on, we might see Miss America. Might see Spider-Gwen. Might see Squirrel Girl. I know people are not going to be happy with Squirrel Girl, but come on.
She's the most overpowered hero that's on their team. She does not need to be there. She out here flicking Thanos and Blackheart in the face.
And Dr. Doom.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, you can flick people and they just unconscious?
And she also beat Galactus. Don't forget about that one.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten to that.
That's ghetto.
I don't even want to be a superhero no more if she is. I really don't.
Okay, so now we're gonna segue into DC Fandom from yesterday, and DC Fandom was a virtual con. It was phenomenal. I'm not mad about any of it. Yeah, some of it was filler, and I think some of it was kind of like, okay, we don't need this part right here. But that's just that was just for me because I was sitting there at work and I was going in and out of it as much as I can. But I got to see what I wanted to see. And hold on, because wait a minute. I got to see what I want to see. And where is it? I'm gonna just put this up there. This is what I really want to see.
And that's all you live for is Batman.
Hey, leave me alone. Leave me alone. It's okay.
Let them live.
I got to see my Gotham Knights come out, and because we've been teased this game for years.
Yeah.
We got teased, and we finally got revealed. But this was, we thought this was going, because when it first started, we thought this was going to be a continuation of the Aquaverse. But then as I'm listening to what Bruce is saying when he's talking to Jason and all of them, I'm like, no, this is a continuation, because what through it was the explosion. But then under the explosion was they identified the body as the body of Bruce Wayne, but it cut off before it said that part. And I'm just sitting there like, so I'm watching it and I'm going through. I'm like, okay, so this is what happens after Arkham Knight. And then as the story goes on, I'm like, no, this is something completely different. This is a whole other universe. And I'm like, I'm glad it's not part of the Aquaverse, because that would also cause a lot of confusion too. Like,
Right.
why is Batman alive? Or, I mean, not saying that he actually died. I don't think he did die at the end of Aquaverse. That's why he made it seem. And if you watch the whole Nightfall protocol all the way through, there is still some figure of Batman in Gotham the years later. So, but with the way that this is going to go, this is more, and this is an introduction to the Court of Owls. For those who don't know who the Court of Owls is, and in the gaming universe, this is the first time the Court of Owls have come up, and I was very, very, very excited. I was just like, yes, finally the Court of Owls get some shine. And that little bit of shine they got on Gotham, okay, that was cute, and a little bit of shine they got in Batman vs. Robin, that was nice. But come on, this is bigger. This is something that everybody's gonna play, everybody's gonna see it, and we all know the Court of Owls is a secret organization that's lived under Gotham for hundreds of years. And they went away for a long time because they got flushed out by something. And they were just now making their presence known. And, that's the history of the Court of Owls. But the publication of the Court of Owls, their first comic book appearance, wasn't until 2011 when DC did the New 52s. So, there was that. But this is going to be one of those games where it's going to have its own level of epicness set aside from the Arkhamverse, and I'm here for it. I'm living for it. But let me point out one other thing too, because I just had a thought that there is more than the Court of Owls involved in this, according to this picture here. Because if you look at it, you've got the Court of Owls symbol, you've got all these other symbols.
Is that the League of Assassins?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, we have more factions than what we. Oh.
Yeah.
So imagine what they have to deal with in the absence of that by themselves.
Right.
I mean, once you hear Batman is dead, it's like, oh, it's free game.
Right.
Everybody's gonna come out and be like, look, I'm the king of Gotham. No, I'm the king of Gotham. I'm the queen of Gotham.
Right. Especially, and not to mention, you got the villains of Gotham.
I just don't want no more Joker. I don't want no more Joker in the game.
I really don't either. And you know what? To be honest,
we have 4 games with Joker as a villain or some sort of villain. I don't want him no more.
Because I was just getting ready to ask the question. I was just getting ready to ask the question, why no more Joker? But you already answered it, so.
No, I don't mind seeing him show up. I just don't want him to be the most prominent antagonist, to be honest.
Right. Because even when I went back and played Arkham Origins, which is it's a good game. I don't know why people just don't mess with that game, but when I'm thinking, oh, Black Man's the villain, the main antagonist, I'm like, okay, cool. Then the Joker, I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like my whole mood just shifted. Like, oh, let me just finish this game.
Yeah, because when we got the reveal in Mortal Kombat, going back to that for a second, and we got it that it was Joker as a DLC, I was like, okay, we get this. This is for the movie, but still, we have enough games with Joker in it as a fighting character and a villain. This was not needed. This was not needed. Y'all could have just did what y'all was gonna do in the first place and put Ash Williams from the Evil Dead in it, and let Joker be in Combat Pack 3 or shove him somewhere else. But here y'all go again with this shit. Okay.
I mean, it was inevitable. I seen it coming when they did not only the MK versus DC, but when they threw Scorpion in Injustice 1. I was like, oh, we throwing Mortal Kombat characters in DC games. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see what happens with the sequel. Then
Yeah.
Raiden Sub-Zero show up out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, so we doing that again. So what if
That's
the
when they
worst
told us
happens?
that's when they told us, oh yeah, the worlds are connected now. So I'm like, wait a minute, this whole thing is true. I'm like, oh god, this whole thing is like real.
And just as a side note, I feel like we got, honestly, Raiden being there wasn't needed, but then they tried to give us, oh, you get a Black Lightning skin for free, and I'm just like, Black Lightning should have been in it. Period. Why include
that
Black Lightning skin for Raiden? Black Lightning should just been his own character. This was the NetherRealm. I was just like,
NetherRealm knew they were lazy as hell for doing some bullshit like that.
Right.
I was like, look, I'm all for Black Lightning being in the game. Hell, we were actually supposed to have gotten Static.
Yep.
But they didn't Static in the mobile game.
To the Dakotaverse.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave us Black Lightning. I'm like, okay, it's cool. But why in the hell is he fighting just like Raiden? That don't even make sense.
Right, it doesn't.
Then you're going to have a whole Black Power place come out in the place of the dragon? NetherRealm, I need y'all to do better. This is not it. If you was going to do Black Power, you should do it a little different, a little bit more eccentric.
Exactly. Y'all, to me, they got lazy with that shit. I was just like,
They got lazy with a lot of those skins in Injustice 2, especially with Vixen as well for Cheetah, and I was like, no.
Exactly.
That's not
Her totem is the animal kingdom itself, not just one character. Like, oh, come on. That would be
the only Black character in this game y'all shouldn't have got right like that was like, come on, Black Manta. And you don't even get to see that he's Black. We know he's Black.
Right.
But why he's the only Black character who's getting his own trope going? And the other ones, they just skins of other people that's already in the game.
Right. And also with John Stewart. He's a skin.
Oh.
And he fight just like Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they gave him his own dialogue and not have the voice actor copy off what Hal Jordan is saying, because that wouldn't have made any sense.
Right. Unlike they
with Vixen too, and with Black Lightning. But I'm like, if you're gonna put these folks in the game, let these folks be their own full-fledged characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Supergirl and Power Girl, like these same characters. Like, I don't see the differences. I don't see the difference with these characters. They're the same thing.
Other than the fact that they're both from different universes, one is much older and more mature and more brash than the other. But I mean, they're relatively the same person.
Right, because they went off the trope that regardless of what universe she's from, she's still Superman's cousin. So that's what they went with. Power Girl is Superman's cousin, just from Mother Earth. That's what they did. And they went off there because people were like, we get it, but they still should have been two different people, or something. Granny did give their own dialogue. We were grateful for that. With Supergirl being Kara Zor-El, or Earth name Kara Kent, and Power Girl being Karen Starr. Okay.
What?
And now I'm thinking about it. Why did her name have to be Karen?
I knew somebody was going to call that in 2020. I knew somebody was going to call that in 2020. But no, this is the kicker, though. The worst skin in the entire game, though, is Bruce Wayne, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Why I got Bruce out here in a full-blown suit doing the shit that he should be doing in the suit, the Batman suit at that? He should be able to float and glide with what? All his Armani suits.
You know, some of the fanboys asked for that. The fanboys asked for that. I don't know why.
I'm like, why would y'all give him that? Y'all could have came up with so many different ideas. Y'all could have threw in Terry McGinnis as a skin. Y'all could have threw in Owlman as a skin. Y'all could have threw in his father from Flashpoint Paradox as a skin. I mean, come on. It's too many ideas for y'all to just. Oh, we're just gonna throw Bruce in there without his suit on. He's just gonna be Armani suit up with the cufflinks.
Stupid. It was stupid. I'm like, who asked for this? Why did y'all give us this? Who asked for this? Why? Why is this a thing? But I mean, any self-respecting Batman fan would have known this was not the move. Like, it's some bullshit. It really is.
I don't understand. I'm like, y'all have way too many opportunities and potentials to place the game in the right direction where it needs to be in order to appease these fans. And I'm gonna say this for the fanboys who asked for that. Are y'all happy? Are y'all truly satisfied? I don't feel truly satisfied. I could have had a V8.
Wow.
I
still think Injustice 2 is one of the best fighting games out there. Hands down, no bar.
Yeah.
However, that skin, that one particularly, V8. And matter of fact, not even a regular V8, a V8 Slash.
Oh my God.
With a hint of lemon.
I can't.
Oh, okay.
Y'all need to do better. This is not it.
Oh my God.
That line just made my afternoon, Jawan. Thank you.
The shade of it all.
I'm just saying, look. Look, I don't throw shade. I cast Dupes I Bought Darkness on folks. I'm trying to get them to do better.
Okay. Okay. So yeah.
Oh Lord.
But going back to the next subject. The Gotham Knights gameplay is nice. Each villain, even the bad guys, even the henchmen, they all have their own levels. So I feel like this is going to be one of those games where your character levels up. They level up. They get more power, take on more powerful enemies. Also, I love the fact that you can change their skins, you can change their outfits. So, and give them new gear pieces. Which, if we couldn't do that, I'd be like, this is gonna be fucking lame. Even though I love Batman, the game looks nice, but it's gonna be lame if we can't do that. But I think they were smart enough to know that they're not all going to be satisfied with the same look going throughout the whole game, and there's different costumes for each character. So, yeah, let's throw that in there.
Right. I'm like, customization is everything in the game. As long as you can mix it up and either make them do something different or look different, that makes the game even more versatile. And people, that's what I appreciated about games like this new DC game. Like the customization that they have in Injustice 2, and even to a degree with Mortal Kombat 11. It goes a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And other games need to take so much notes from that, because without customization, your game, it may have all the mechanics, the gameplay, the glitz and glam, and the graphics and stuff like that. But if your players are not in tune into the game, or they don't feel like they have a participation more so than the actual gameplay itself, it kind of falls flat a little bit.
Yeah, because when I saw this for Batgirl, I was like, okay, so you can change the outfit, you can change the costume. So I was like, okay, that's dope, because her starting costume is from Rebirth, and I ain't feeling that costume, so I am not. It looks too cheesy for me. I'm sorry, it just does. But other than that, the game looks fine. The game looks fine. I feel like it's gonna be one of those games that,
I was gonna say, I would really hope we get more Batman characters. I would love to play like Stephanie Brown and Batwoman. Yeah, and Cassandra Cain as well. I would definitely love to play with them. Even with Duke. Yeah, I forgot his code name now. I forgot his new code name, but with Duke as well. Like,
I want to say it's Signal.
Yes, it's Signal.
Yeah, me too. Like, I was thinking about that last night too. I was like, okay, the DLC might be, or hopefully it'll be more characters like Azrael, Huntress.
Oh yeah.
Ones you guys there too.
Yeah.
Hell, even throwing Damian Wayne too. Why not?
And I was going to ask that because I kept seeing questions about, well, who's Robin? Because is it Tim or is it Damian?
Yes, Tim.
That's
okay.
Tim. That's
That
Tim
makes more
Drake.
sense.
Yeah,
I
because
was like, Tim just came all out here just chilling. He okay? Like,
yeah.
he ain't mad. He ain't being stuck up right now. Like, okay.
No, I could tell that was Tim already. Like Tim is like the tech savvy one out of like all Robins.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that's Tim. Okay, cool. I'm like, yes.
I always said Tim was the best Robin out of all of them, to be honest. Because he was more of a Batman than any of the rest of them.
Yeah. But also, and when you go look at the gameplay, in one scene where it's Barbara and was Batgirl and Robin, he has on his red Robin pirate mask. So I was like, oh yeah, that's Tim.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna go over to the other game that was revealed, and we're gonna hit which I thought this was funny. Where is it? We're gonna hit these guys. Hold on. Damn it, can't use that one. All right, so we're gonna use this one.
I'm scared.
Why?
Is it who I think it is?
Hold on.
Is it you can't find it, or is screen sharing giving you an issue?
It says not supported. So
what are you trying to share?
I'm trying to share this picture of the Suicide Squad game.
Can I say I'm most excited for that game?
Okay. Well, I couldn't exactly share the logo, which for some reason wouldn't let me. But this also caught my attention because at the end of the trailer, they have to go up against Justice League, and Superman looks like he's possessed, under mind control, or really pissed off. So I don't know.
From the trailer, it looked like Brainiac took over him. Because it looked like Brainiac.
You see Brainiac's ship.
Right.
But here's the thing. Here's the twist about the Suicide Squad game. It's a continuation of the Arkhamverse, but we don't know where in the Arkhamverse this happens. Like time-wise, because it could be after Arkham Knight, it could be between Origin City, somewhere in there. It could be any of that, you know. So
right.
We don't know where this fits into the game. We just know it's a continuation of that universe where the Suicide Squad has to go against the whole entire Justice League. And
I'm here for this. I am here.
Yeah, I am too. And the fact that my girl Tara Strong is voicing Harley Quinn, I fell in love with it. I was like, yes, it's still Tara Strong doing Harley Quinn, because her and Arlene Larkin do the best voices to me, period. So the fact that Tara Strong was in there, I was like, yes, because she gives me a Harley Quinn that she makes it funnier somehow with her voice, the way she voices her. But that's just me. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, all right, what's this gonna be about? And it shows King Shark, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and Captain Boomerang. But those are the four you start with. I'm hoping they add more, like let's see, what else do I like in Suicide Squad?
I would love Enchantress and Bronze Tiger. I would like them for me.
I can say Bronze. Killer Frost would be a nice one too.
Yeah, Killer Frost, King Cobra, Bane. You know, 'cause you never know who's in the Suicide Squad. You never know who's gonna get replaced.
Right.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, because it seems like Amanda Waller has the ability to capture anybody she wants to. Well, any villain she wants to, should I say? You know, so she seems to have her hands on everybody. Because I remember in Young Justice, she was able to get Black Manta to be part of Task Force X. I was like, what? So
Hey.
you got the power. Hey.
Hey, when you in Bev Rev and you know you under the wall, you got to follow what she say.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're not wrong.
Okay,
you
so
can get this freedom, or I can blow your head up.
yeah,
One of the two gonna have to happen.
that's how she operates. Like, you do what I say, or you lose your head. There's no in between. There's no black and white.
She could have did that on me because I was like, look, Amanda.
I ain't cut out for this. I'll just stay in jail.
Yeah,
Look,
I'm gonna stay in jail, but if you try
fine.
this foolishness again, know that I will find some type of shank in this cell to cut this mess out of me, and I'm gonna come find you, and I'm gonna return this to you. Know that. I don't have time.
Just like Deadshot told her at the end of Assault on Arkham, like he told her in Assault on Arkham, you play straight, we'll do what you want, but if you fool with me, I'm coming after you. And at the end of the movie, he did go after her.
Yep.
So,
and I don't blame him. Because I would have shot her too. Like, look, I told you from the beginning.
right. Yeah. So those are the two games that were revealed, and then the Wonder Woman trailer was nice. We got to see what Cheetah looks like.
I'm really proud of Kristen Wiig. I thought Kristen Wiig could not pull it off, and the trailer made me believe, okay, I see the character progression of where she's looking like, where she wants to have, and where she's going to be. And I'm really thinking about now Wonder Woman 3 already in my head. I'm thinking like, okay, I already know what's going to happen in Wonder Woman 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like down the line with just seeing this movie here, it's like, okay, yeah, I know what I want. I'm like, and Patty is a great director. I'm just like this. The whole shot of the trailer is like made me amp for the movie. Because when I just seen Maxwell Lord, like you didn't get to see a lot of him, but you saw enough of, okay, you know what he's about to do. But yeah, I feel like this is more for a Cheetah trailer versus Maxwell Lord, because we already got him in the first trailer. This is, okay, this is Barbara Minerva trailer. Let's introduce her more and let's show them what Cheetah looked like, because that's what everybody wanted to see. What did Cheetah look like? Is Cheetah gonna look like this? Because people was thinking like, oh, Cheetah's not gonna have the whole fur, the whole, the transformation. They thought she was gonna be a human form the whole movie, which I was like, nah, they can't do that. They gotta, if it's Cheetah, you gotta give us Cheetah. You just can't give us no leopard wearing, Cheetah print wearing. You think Cheetah Girl? This is
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Like, don't give us Cheetah Girl remix with DC Comics. No.
This is the actual Cheetah. I need to see teeth. I need to see fur. I need to see claws. I need to see quickness, fastness, bloodthirstiness. That's what I want to see. I know
that apex predator that she's wanted to be. And that's what they gave us. They gave us an apex predator. And I was just like, yes, y'all did this well. I love
playing her?
Kristen Wiig. So if you watch like Bridesmaids, the main character, that's who playing.
Yeah. Okay,
Cheetah.
I could get behind that because folks was thinking the first time Beyonce should be able to play Cheetah. She's fierce. I'm like,
Beyonce can't act. I'm sorry, Beehive. I'm so sorry if you're watching Beehive.
I'm not sorry.
But
you can throw all the things over here. Look, I will black flag them to death. I'm not even playing. All types of black flag.
I'm sorry. She Beyonce
is an entertainer, but she cannot entertain her acting ability anymore. That is done.
No.
It's over. It's canceled.
No. I'm sorry. I'm still mad at her with Lion. I'm still mad at her with Lion King, and I'm just like, when you said, "Are you with me, Lions?" I was like, you know what? This is not my. This is not the movie.
We are not. We're not talking about that. No.
I was like, Beyonce, are you having a Beyonce moment in Lion King in the Disney movie? Ma'am, I need you to sit. Let me take 2 seats. Go. I was so mad. I was so mad at that. I died laughing. I died laughing at that part of the movie. Like it was like just cheering. I died laughing. I was like, "This is wrong. This is so wrong with me." But
Look, I'm not even gonna lie. I went and saw it on Disney Plus, right? And I was really trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, maybe this might be the one movie she can pull off besides Carmen. Besides Carmen. And I'm looking, I was like, why is she giving Nala all of these sexual vibes? Did you forget this was a Disney movie? This is not Beyonce and the Lion Tribe.
Well, okay. Look, before we get too deep down this rabbit hole, and I'm gonna pull you back out. No, we not for another day.
I really felt like it was super sexual for no reason. Like, I was like, no. This is
it was Beyonce and the Lion King. It was Beyonce and the Lion King. That's what it was.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, it was either that or we almost had her as Captain Marvel. I'm just saying. You know they were petitioning for that.
Oh no, but look, there's too many rabbit holes here. Let's not throw down these rabbit holes. It's not anyway.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Oh my God.
It's too funny.
Okay, so the trailer for the Batman came on. I'm hyped for that movie now. Now that I see Robert Pattinson in the suit and acting, yeah, I'm for Pattinson at this point. I was like, yeah, because the first I was like, I don't know, but then when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm on board now. I can admit that I'm on board now. So,
you know who he kind of looks like in the suit?
Huh?
He kind of looks like the new 52 Batman.
Yeah.
He gives me new 52 Batman vibes. I'm like, now that I see him in the costume, let me see how he gonna do as Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm waiting to see. Because I kind of figured he could pull off Batman in the costume. I think a lot of people can, but you have to have a special air for that. Bruce, you have to have a flair for that one.
Yeah.
Right.
You ain't got it. You can't play Batman, period, if you can't play Bruce.
No.
Right. It's like you gotta do both. You can't do either one or the other. Like I think that's a lot of times with characters like Ben Affleck. Excuse me. He was giving me, I could see him as Bruce, yeah. But with Batman, it was like, I want to believe you, but I can't. Like, I want to believe you so much.
Wait. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. He gave me a Batman. Him as Bruce could have been more, but as Batman, he sold it for me. He really did.
I feel like he did a decent job. I would still put him at the bottom, only because of the fact that I feel like he really outshined his last foolishness with Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really wanted to forget that movie. And the only reason I reference it because I like Michael Clark Duncan. But I think he really did a decent job as Batman. He gives me, what was the Batman animated movie where he fought?
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. That's the vibe Ben Affleck gave me as his Batman. That's why I give him some credit.
And that was the Batman he was supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah. So when I say he sold it for me on that, that's what I'm talking about. He sold it for me being that Batman, because that's the Batman he was trying to portray. And if you tell with the big old symbol on his chest, I was like, oh, they're going with that Batman.
He's that version of Batman. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, man. I don't like that version of Batman. I like that version of Batman. I don't like that symbol, but I was like, okay, symbol aside, this is good. But yeah, so when I saw the trailer, I was like, yeah, I believe him. And Zoe Kravitz, she gonna play a good Catwoman. And I don't know who else is playing any other characters. I don't know the actors and actresses who are playing other characters at this point. But
hey, Devon, check your audio. There you go.
Am I better now?
Much better.
Okay. Yeah. But I was like, but I'm sold now. Okay, so we're gonna talk about now. Anybody, what is the white nigga looking stuff coming.
At this point, I'm really looking to playing Gotham Knights. Like, just like Streets of Rage 4, I want to get a group of folks. If it has multiplayer for 4 players, I need a group of folks to run through this with me. I want to see how fun it is to play a game like this in a 4-player setting.
Okay.
I definitely agree. I think I want to play both of them because I'm definitely looking forward to a Suicide Squad game. And that one, when I saw the poster for that game and it has like Kill Superman, I was like, I'm listening. You have my attention. Like Suicide Squad, Kill Superman. Okay, you have my full attention, DC. What do you want? Like, what do you want from me? I'm here for it. So I think that one, I definitely want to play Gotham Knights because I definitely play with Tim Drake and definitely with God, not what's the third? Jason. Can't think of his name for a second. But yeah, I definitely I couldn't think of his name. Leave me alone. I couldn't think of his name for a quick second, but definitely want to play with them. Hopefully these games will be like, not at a park. I think, I think DC is like the gaming division is trying to stray away from, Batman games, like just trying to put Batman out in the front. Like if you still gonna have Batman games, but for the last 10 years, almost 10 plus years, we all had like Batman games where we just had Batman Arkham. Like, okay, kind of got a little tired. Like, we get it, okay, it's a big city, we get the villains, but it's like give us something new. Like, give us something brand new. And with these 2 new IPs, it's gonna be like, hey, here you go. You had either this multiplayer game or this one. Have fun. I would love for them to give us like another Superman game. That's actually good and not trash.
Right.
But
there's difficulty making a Superman and Flash game because of their power sets. That's what makes it difficult for them to do one. They've thought about I'm not sure if they scrapped the Superman game or if they're still trying to figure out a way to do it. But there was a talk of one, years ago too. So it may come out, it may not. But the difficult part is his power set because of how many powers he has and his strength and powers and everything. So they're trying to figure out how do you progress through a story for Superman, without giving him all his powers at one time and making it because they feel like if you give him all his powers at one time, it'll make the game boring. Which I can kind of agree with because where's the progression at? As far as him as a character, where's the progression at? So I get where they're coming from. They're like, how do we make this character progress, keep the person interested, and not bore them at the same time? That's what they're trying to figure out with it. And same thing with the Flash game too. So, yeah.
But I think it just all depends on the villains and where we're gonna take the game. I feel like most of Superman villains are pretty much outer space villains like Lobo, Mongol, Brainiac. Those villains can really and Darkseid pretty much they can you can fight against them. They'll give you a good run for your money, but you also have Lex Luthor who is like, let me just play to his strengths, play to his weaknesses, and see how that's gonna work. But it just takes a creative team, and sometimes I think a lot of times these companies don't hear the fans like, hey, we have ideas, and like, no, our ideas are better. We're gonna put this game out. You guys don't like it. He's like, no, we don't like it. We don't trash this game. Thank you, though. Thank you for your services.
Yeah. The games I'm looking forward to are, of course, Gotham Knights, the Suicide Squad game, the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. I'm looking forward to that on the PS5. And another game that I want y'all to check out the trailer for is this game called Godfall. And it is a PS4 exclusive. And guess what? No microtransactions. Everything you need is in the game. So that's another plus. But yeah, I saw the trailer for that. I was like, oh, this is dope. This is very dope. I could play this. There's another game too. I had to find the name of it again, but you're basically a rabbit in a mech suit going around kicking ass. So that game looked fun too. But yeah, those are the games I'm looking forward to until 2021. Well, Gotham Knight comes out in 2021. Well, as far as the games until the end of the year, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I believe that hopefully when things get back to normal, we can do we go back to events like the Game Awards and E3 when things get back to normal. What's I just had a thought and I just lost it. Hopefully it'll come back.
Well, can I ask this? How do
Sure.
we feel about the history of E3 going forward? Because with a lot of companies like Nintendo doing their directs, and then Sony just did their own like experience this year by themselves. It's like, do you think we don't need an E3 anymore, or you think it's like E3 is like dead?
I never thought about it until you just asked, and you have a point, because E3 was nothing but a conglomerate for all three of them to get there and show off their games, and that's it. When they
most of this stuff folks can do online.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily dead, but it does give them a way to reinvent themselves, more or less.
Oh, now I know what I was talking about. So there were some people mad that there was no Injustice 3 trailer, which I didn't expect one. And they were also mad that there was no trailer for Mortal Kombat. I didn't expect. Now, come on, this is a DC event. Why would y'all expect, even though NetherRealm still has a contract with WB, I get it, but I really wasn't expecting anything Mortal Kombat to come out of DC fandom, nor anything really Injustice 3, because I mean,
we're not getting anything Injustice 3 until like fall of 2021. I think Ed Boon's still working on that game.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like we still get another story pack with that game, but that's neither here nor there, because I feel like he's gonna be like, here's everything else you guys want. And I feel like that's kind of what with Nomura doing, Sakurai doing with Smash. It's like, here's the game. After the game, I'm not giving you nothing else. Don't ask for nothing. And when I give you Injustice 3, you just want to take it. But right now, I feel like everyone's like, look, we don't want to work on it. We don't want to work on it. And I feel like I remember his interviews. He was going through saying, not worried about, we weren't most worried about Mortal Kombat 11 because we want to work on it more and more. I feel like what they're trying to do is perfect the system for Injustice 3, but they want to work out with the kinks and stuff. I feel like every character from Mortal Kombat 9 to now has been an offshoot or memory, like a mirror copy of characters that we played, like the move sets and how they, move, how their characters use their powers. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing, NetherRealm. I see what you kind of working with characters, trying to see what works, what doesn't work. That way, when your next game come out, it's like way better than the first one or the second one or the third one.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as far as Injustice 3, I hope they do keep the gear system, because I think that was the most unique thing to Injustice 2 was the gear system, and of course the story was good too, and the combat they made the combat better, but that gear system was the point for me,
I would say Mortal Kombat 11's gear system is better in comparison to Injustice 2. I would say cosmetic wise, because there's so many different looks you can give these characters now. It's like, wow. I would say Injustice 2 could have did better as far as balance wise as far as their stats, because some folks were super overpowered.
Yeah.
Starfire.
Yeah.
Even if you look at just like the default system without the gear involved, just look at the gameplay itself. I mean, you have, hell, let's just use Black Adam for an example.
Oh God.
He murdered everybody without so much as getting close to the character. He didn't even have to do anything. All I had to do is shoot lightning towards you and from above, and that was it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, his range was very crazy. I was like, oh my God, sir.
Like, could you not?
I felt like he was gonna shock himself and turn himself back into a super fossilized old man. Like, if you keep this up, you better hope nobody don't have Nightwolf's reflectability, otherwise you screwed.
Right. All right. So we're coming to the end of our time. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for making this my first one, and I enjoyed the commentary, enjoyed the energy, as always. So until next time. Wait, it's got a minute left of recording.